So with this gentle music going on in the background, and as more people trickle in, let us at least go through our own routine of relaxing and bringing ourselves to here and now. There's so much going on in the world out there. There's so many distractions, so much information. But for a few minutes, and preferably for the whole hour and a half that we'll have together, just let go of those things. Try to put it all aside. You're here for yourself. This is a gift that you're giving to yourself. A gift of spiritual nourishment. Just like sometimes you might want to go to a nice restaurant to eat, or some place where you get good nourishment for the body. Sometimes you want to give good nourishment to your lungs, and therefore you go high up into the mountains or close to water, maybe sea, ocean. Take a few deep breaths at that time. Fresh air, fresh breeze. Sometimes you go to a spa to help heal your body. You have come here to a soul spa, a soul restaurant, where you can nourish your soul. You can heal your soul. This is your chance. This is your time. This is your reward. This is your gift. For a moment, feel as if you're coming into this sacred space. It's a gift from God. For all the good things you've done in this and previous births, you are being rewarded with this soul nourishment, with this soul spa. Just like in a spa, you allow yourself to be soaked in the quietness and gentleness of all those herbal treatments that they give you. Here to allow yourself, actually allow your soul, the whole of you, to be soaked in this new set of vibrations, filled with peace, filled with God's love. See the tensions of your mind as well as the tensions of your soul getting released, and you feel better, you feel stronger, you feel more peaceful, you feel happier, and you feel rejuvenated. Just this little bit of experience that you're having is helping you experience something you've never experienced before. So hold this experience, hold this feeling. As we start our event today. Om Shanti. Thank you. How's everyone doing? You had a good experience? Even those 5 minutes, 7 minutes? Rejuvenating, isn't it? All right. And so all of you were here the last time when we went real deep. As I had mentioned, I guess that was the first time we had ever gone that deep in exploring these spiritual connections of our existence in general. Last time we had, if you remember, touched upon this point that unless we experience detachment, unless we practice detachment, we cannot really experience the essence of spirituality. And if I had said this statement some 10 years back, I'm sure people would have gone berserk, right? Detachment is something which people don't get it. And they feel as if it means leaving everything, going into a monastery, becoming a monk, going into the forest, or doing things like that, I guess. But now we are realizing, I guess, because there is almost like a wave of awakening happening across the world. A spiritual movement, if you will. People are waking up to new realizations, new understandings, and a desire to experience something more than they have ever experienced before. Agreed? Right? So attachment is the one thing that destroys our happiness, that destroys our peace, that destroys our connection to the highest source of energy, the Supreme. It actually destroys our connection to ourselves too. And that's why we explored a couple of consciousness. I feel that spirituality is the need of the hour, that deeper connection. Sometimes this word spirituality can be very heavy too, but that deeper, meaningful connection with ourselves, with the divine, is the need of the hour for all of us. Agreed? Everybody feels that. Now one is to do research on it, big research, and people are doing research. People are experiencing and finding in their results how much, as you bring more and more of spirituality into your life, how your health gets better, your relationships get better, your life begins to blossom. But so there is one that is research. But another thing is education. And in the past few years that we have been doing it here in Augusta, North Augusta area, our goal has been to educate people to something different, something more elevated. And I think as this education catches on, as more and more people come to understand what this means, then the awakening will be complete, will be full, and we will all be able to create the lives that we want. And based on our lives, then we'll be able to create a world that we want. A world where we can all live peacefully, happily, meaningfully. Right? So, would you like to help recapitulate the two consciousness that we discussed last time? Do you remember? Does anyone remember? What did we talk about? Did you practice? Did you?
Yeah, I remember one, travelers. We are travelers.
Travelers, yeah. So yeah, go ahead. What did you understand about traveler consciousness? What did you experience? If you did practice, I'm sure you had some experiences with it.
That's okay, even if you have, at least you remembered, right? That's good. At least you remembered.
Yeah.
So,
Anybody else? What was the other consciousness that we talked about?
Truth.
Yeah.
yes,
Good.
you remember one one aspect of that acronym,
Yeah.
actor consciousness, right? Remember? T for truth. That's what you remembered. That's good.
A for attention. A for what was the other A?
Active.
Yeah, active, but
Active,
A for attention.
Attention.
A.
Intention.
What was the other A for?
Awareness.
Awareness.
Yes.
Yes.
Good.
C was for
Courage.
Courage.
courage. Yeah.
See, the awareness that we are not just actors, but we are hero actors, right? So hero actors has these qualities. Hero actor is always aware that he's on the stage. So that attention should always be there, that I am being watched at every moment. So you will be attentive. Just like, if somebody is taking your picture, then you're attentive, that your face should smile. There should be smile on your face, right? Similarly, if I am on the stage and I am performing particular action, then I will be more attentive.
Yeah, I like this point. Even if you're feeling grumpy, right? If you know that somebody is taking a picture, right? You smile at least for that moment and then go back to your grumpiness. But, but if we have the awareness that constantly there is a video camera
Yeah.
that is taking your video, you're being watched. You're being watched by the universe. You're being watched by yourself. You see. So if you are in that awareness, then you will be constantly smiling, constantly happy. Actually, they did research where they found that people who are depressed, if you somehow give them some injections, Botox injections, where they are not able to smile. So they, in that experiment, half of the patients, they blocked those nerves so that the patients could not smile, and half of them could smile, and they were encouraged to smile. So the ones who smiled, they found after a month their depression levels were much lower. The ones that couldn't smile, their depression levels were high. So the mind or the brain sees what is happening to the face too. And if the face is grumpy, then the mind has a negative feedback loop because of the face and becomes grumpy. So if you want to create happiness in your life, we have to be careful of our external appearance too.
That's why they say fake it till you make it, right?
But sometimes there's a problem with that too, right? Um, Sometimes we become masters of faking.
Yeah. So with this awareness that if I smile, then definitely I'll reach there.
So if
Right.
I don't want to make it, fake it, if I want to smile, uh, but I want to make it as a truthful smile, then what do I have to do? Share if you want to. So if I'm internally grumpy, I'm grumpy, but I'm smiling. So that would be faking it, right? But what can I do to not fake it? I want to smile, but not to fake it. What do you think?
Feel the happiness.
Yeah, feel happy at that moment. Remind yourself of so many different things that we can be happy about. An actor consciousness, therefore, is very important. I am a hero, I am an actor. Immediately it gives you that realization that I do not need to be so sad about anything. Everything is happening for a reason. Everything is happening because of a predestined play, if you will. It's like a big drama of life. Things are happening. Everybody is playing his own part. If somebody doesn't play his part the way I want to, it's okay. It is his part to play what he is playing. So I can then step back, look at everything as it is evolving, and not get grumpy about it. I can feel internally happy, and so my smile is real. And also, when I smile, if you remember what I said in that experiment, that smile gives a positive feedback to my inner self. And so, even if I'm not internally happy for a moment, that smile helps me feel happy. Make sense?
It's like a trigger.
It becomes like a
Activating
trigger.
it.
It activates our inner happiness. I'm smiling, so internally there's a trigger happening that makes me happier. You see, you look at yourself, if you something is going a little bit wrong, and then you make a grumpy face, make a sad face, what does it do for you? Does it help you? It only makes you sadder. So do you want to be sad or do you want to be happier? See? So,
And it doesn't cost to smile, right?
actually, they have shown that any face on earth, any face, if you, if you compare when it is grumpy versus when it is smiling, they say smile is one of the best makeup that you can put
And
on.
also they say that you're not fully dressed if you don't have smile.
Yes. So if you're going to a party, it's one of the accessories, a very important accessory to have a smile on. People spend so many hours trying to find the right matching everything, right?
Also do a lot of makeup.
Makeup, right?
But if there is no smile, then
And one simple
there's no
smile
use. Yeah.
can make things so much easier. You don't have to put on all those chemicals on your face, which don't help either. So smile is the cheapest, or actually zero cost, is the safest, no chemicals involved. And so like an actor, you can smile on the stage.
So C stands for courage and T stands for truth. Remember that we should be connected to our true self and also to that truth, the ultimate truth. Right? And then O stands for optimism. Be optimistic. Hero actor is always very hopeful, fills the other person with lot of hope, is a support for everyone. And also opportunity, O for opportunity. So if you are hero actor, you always look at the opportunity that you're getting from that situation where you are in. Instead of looking at the problems, the difficulties, the challenges, your focus is on the opportunity. What am I learning from this particular situation, right?
And in fact, every moment brings with it just
Yeah.
infinite opportunities for
Right.
us to grow
We
and
have
rise
to,
higher.
yeah, and we have to find it. So our focus should be, what is it that I'm learning from this situation? And then
Our
R stands for being resilient.
ability to bounce back despite the problems, despite the issues, despite the hardships, if you will. Actually, there's no hardship, it's all opportunities for us to learn. But despite everything that happens, we can still bounce back. That's the quality of an actor.
And in fact, you should be happy, just like football game, everyone is kicking at the ball, but the attention of the audience is not on the player, but is focused on the ball, right?
Mhm.
So that means, if I'm bouncing back, everyone's focus is on me.
You
So
become the special hero.
yeah, so I should be, resilient in that way, right? And also I was thinking that I think last time we didn't talk about, there is another word in Hindi that is very similar to hero, that is hira. Hira means diamond. So they go together, right? So this is another consciousness, diamond consciousness, that I should be aware of, that I am not an ordinary actor, not just a hero actor, but the one who has diamond-like qualities. Hira means diamond. So I should always sparkle. Sparkle, I should always radiate that light. So that whoever comes in contact with me also gets that light, that special light that I'm radiating. Light of love, light of peace, light of happiness. So shine like a diamond, sparkle like a
That's a
diamond.
great one. So we can now explore deeper on the diamond consciousness actually.
Yeah, sure.
And so I was wondering if you would like to tell us how diamonds are created.
Yeah, so anybody knows about how the diamonds are created?
How diamonds get formed,
Yeah, you know it, right?
Okay.
Charcoal mine
Yeah.
in the mines.
How does it happen, do you know?
They come in a stone form,
Okay.
then they're taken to the
Even before that, how does nature create diamonds?
that detail. I don't know.
That's in charcoal and dirt and mines. Yeah, that's all
I
I
think
know.
underground.
Yeah, it has to go through that process, high
Process.
temperature and pressure, so it has to go through a lot before it turns into a diamond.
Yeah.
Actually, it is carbon. It's carbon, so it's coal. It's really coal, which when it goes deep inside, it's really deep inside the earth.
Earth.
Then there is a lot of pressure, and there is a lot of heat. So it gets transformed over years into something so priceless as a diamond. And coal is so cheap, right? One big block of coal may not cost anything, very little. And one tiny diamond becomes so priceless.
And one is lustreless and another is full with luster.
Yeah, when you touch it, your hands become dirty. You don't want to touch it, your clothes can become dirty too. Doesn't really help too much. Yes, it gives you heat, it does something for sure, but you don't want to really put it in your pocket or anything. But what do you do with a diamond? You want to save it, you want to hold it, yeah? You want to wear it, you want to keep it safe, put it in a nice jewelry box. So,
And nobody can imagine that, that you can have such diamond from that coal. It is so cheap, so valueless, so lusterless, so black, right? And here the diamond is so beautiful, always sparkling, so expensive, so valuable, right? Nobody can imagine that. But this
so
is,
yeah, right.
yeah.
So now look at it. So much of pressure and temperature, so much of external situations happening. Now, what happens if the coal, for a little bit, says, I can't take this pressure? And say, nature releases a little bit of pressure. What happens? You want to say
So
something?
it will interfere in that processing,
Exactly.
right?
That's why you end up with defects in the diamonds. So the diamonds go by carats, right? Carat is the weight of the diamond. Carat for gold is actually the purity of gold. For diamond, it's the weight. Weight, the largest size of the diamond, that is without any defects. The bigger the diamond without defects, the more expensive it would be. You see? What happens is when they take out that diamond, that block, then they find there are thousands of defects in it. So then they have to cut it in a way that the defect gets is in the cut. You see? So then you create, say, 1,000, 2,000, 4,000 pieces, small pieces, out of that big piece. And then from that small piece, then they have to polish. Then it has to go through a very rigorous process.
And also, you can cut the diamond only by diamond.
Yeah,
right?
that's true too. Yeah.
You cannot cut, diamond is so hard, you cannot cut it.
Diamond is the hardest thing. Actually, though diamond is brittle, but diamond is so hard that in industries it's used to cut metal. It is diamond cutters. You know when you go to the dentist and they drill the hole, what do they use? Yeah, that's a diamond burr, and that bit of burr doesn't have a real diamond, but it has diamond dust. So diamond has that much of ability to cut. So anyways, going back to this, the diamond then over hours and hours of painful cutting in different angles and polishing it, then it becomes what it is, what we see in the market, that expensive thing. Because its price depends on the number of surfaces and how polished they are. Because each surface then reflects the light more beautifully. If you have 10 surfaces versus 200 surfaces, the 200 surfaces one will reflect light much more beautifully. So then think of it, so much of grinding and cutting and polishing going on for the diamond. Then it becomes priceless. But if you go back to what I said earlier, say the coal said, it's okay, allow me to be under this pressure and temperature, I can take it. Then there will be less defects. And if the coal says, I can't take it, then what will happen? Then there'll be defects, right? So similarly for us, when the universe puts in certain challenges, certain situations, what do we say most often? Johnny. We can't take it. We can't handle it. Stop. I can't take it. But what's happening at that moment? What's happening? Why are these challenges coming to us?
Because the soul is growing.
Yeah, so if you take the same analogy of coal to diamond, what is happening?
To make us sparkle.
Yeah, to make us much more precious and much bigger, more beautiful diamonds. And as soon as we say, no, I can't take it, stop. So universe listens to us. Universe stops. Every time the universe stops, what happens? Defects. So you think of it, this could have been us, this bigger diamond. The defect happens, our price becomes half.
So we make ourselves valueless. Our value gets lower and lower.
Yeah.
So it's up to us whether we want ourselves to be valuable as a diamond, or we want to
Reduce our
reduce
value.
our value, right? So it is said that there is two meanings of this word value. When you are connected to your true values, then you make yourself more and more valuable,
Because
right?
for sure, yes, if when the challenges come our way and we handle it right
Yeah. So you're
with
using the
honesty,
values, yeah,
yeah, with
honesty,
honesty,
integrity, and
truth,
courage and truth,
resilience.
resilience, right? That is the opportunity for you to use your inner core values, and this is how you're making yourself more and more valuable.
Now you tell me, is there anybody in that you know of who has never seen hardship? Nobody. Do you know of any house where there is no illness?
No what?
Illness.
Illness.
Do you know of any house in this world where there was never a death? There is. So why is this whole thing happening? Why does the universe create all these things for us? So that we become stronger. We get an opportunity to express our inner values and therefore make ourselves more valuable. Like a diamond. So we sparkle like a diamond.
We can do maybe meditation now,
A quick
quick
meditation.
meditation, and see the diamond sparkle that we all have inside, but we don't see it. Why? That's a big question. Good question.
Why don't we see it?
Why don't we?
Yes, that's beautiful because we don't want to many times. We are so stuck in the things around us that we forget. This is the beauty of meditation. Is any meditation. I'm not trying to say this versus any other. Meditation is just the realization
Awareness, self-awareness that I am
the
a diamond.
yeah.
You
So
have to remember.
it's a journey back to understanding who you are. You
That's
are a
why-
diamond.
That's why we say it's a return journey, no?
Yeah.
We are returning to our original form, that I am a diamond.
Yeah. Who am I? We have talked about this so often. I am the name that we say, the body that we look at in the mirror. So many different identities is what we think as I am, right? Somebody would say, I'm an engineer, but that's your job. I'm a director, but that's your position. I am a Christian, but that's your religion. I am a male or a female, that's your gender. You are not any of these. Who are you? Who are you? You are simply a diamond. A precious, in fact priceless, sparkling diamond. A diamond that reflects God's qualities. Would you like to do that? Right? All the time? Why not? Think of it, you as a diamond, just like that physical diamond, you keep it here, light falls upon it and it reflects the light everywhere, the sparkle is everywhere. You see yourself as a diamond and God's light falling upon you. You reflecting it through your multiple surfaces, your multifaceted personality. And that illuminates the life of others around you too. Want to take us through that experience?
Okay, so sit back and relax. And gently turn your attention inwards. with this awareness that I, the soul, am a pure, sparkling diamond. Focus your attention at the center of your forehead. And visualize a point of light that is in the shape of a diamond. And this diamond shaped light is reminding you of your original nature. That you are a pure divine being. Radiating multifaceted divine qualities. From each facet of this light, this diamond. You are reflecting light of peace, light of happiness, light of truth, light of courage. And as you do that, you are not only empowering yourself, but you are serving others as well. So hold on to this beautiful awareness that I, the soul, am a pure, sparkling, flawless, living diamond. And the more you are aware of your diamond-like form, the more you are connected to the One who has created you, the Creator, the Divine. And the moment you feel this connection, you begin to sparkle even more. Because He is the one who is polishing the diamond continuously. So feel this powerful connection with the Divine and keep sparkling as a diamond. Om Shanti.
Thank you. The were so many nice things that were coming in my mind. Could I request you to switch it off?
Turn off.
Please. Just for your own experience, for me it doesn't matter. It didn't turn off. It didn't turn off.
No?
Hold it for a moment and then it will show. Yeah, if you all can mute your microphones, we'll appreciate it. Yeah, because this whole thing is being recorded and it will be posted on Facebook and YouTube. So, anyways, so one of the things I was thinking was, just like when you see coal, you don't really want to touch it because you know it's not going to be, it's really not valuable and it's going to dirty you really. Whereas a diamond, you want to hold on to it. Similarly, if I increase my inner value, right, with all the God's qualities, then would I become more valuable that people may want me versus not want me?
Yeah, sure. Because if you are connected with the divine energy, then you will be overflowing with those values. Because I think last time also we had discussed that how God is the ocean of all the virtues, all the values, all the powers. So if I stay connected with that divine energy, then I am continuously drawing from Him. So I will be overflowing. So I'll become more and more valuable. I'll be able to give more because I have more. Just like if you have something that, for example, if you have a tree that is growing many mangoes, lot of mangoes or lot of, whatever fruit you want to think of, and then you will like to share it with your neighbors, because what are you going to do with it? So many mangoes. You cannot eat all of them, right? So similarly, when you begin to flow with these values that you're receiving from God, then you will feel like sharing those values with others. So in that process of sharing, you're not only increasing your own value, but you are actually helping others increase their value too, because then they will be connected to their values. So it's like, you are helping them activate their inner values. So it's a beautiful process.
Yeah. But I was also thinking that just like if you keep handing out mangoes or apples from a tree, people will be attracted towards you, right? People will want to be around somebody who, say, just the thought that was coming, if you're handing out garbage to people versus handing out mangoes, right? Who would want to be with a person who is handing out garbage, right? Nobody will want to know or be around you.
Yeah.
Similarly, if I am expressing the highest qualities, then people will want to be around me. Whereas if I am constantly giving out satanic qualities of anger and ego,
That is
worry,
garbage, right? That is
that's
garbage that
of
we are
worries, of trouble that we create for other people around us, then who will want to be with us? And I was thinking also, you very nicely said about this, about peace and love, and right in your meditation. So sometimes if you look at it, God's light, when it falls, or any light, if you take white light and you put it on a glass, and if it is in the shape of a prism, what does it do?
Sparkles.
No, not just sparkles. What else does it do?
Radiates.
It radiates, but radiates in a certain way. Who can tell us?
This question, physics question.
You'll have to send you back to physics and chemistry classes. But diffraction, have you heard of that? The dispersion, where the light gets dispersed into the 7 colors. No. You have the rainbow, right?
7
How's rainbow created?
Light
Like what?
through the water,
Correct.
through the rain.
Right. And then what does it do? It breaks into its constituents because white light is made of actually 7 colors. It's really not white. It is 7 colors mixed together, which gives us the feeling that it is white. So when it goes through water, or it goes through glass, or when it hits sometimes the diamond, then it gets dispersed into its constituent 7 colors. And similarly, when we have God's light coming upon us, if we are in the shape of a diamond, right, we have made ourselves valuable, that we can actually break God's light into its constituent values. And I was thinking if you could kind of correlate that for us, which color of light would mean which value and so on and so forth.
So there are 7 colors in the rainbow. These colors, they also correspond to the 7 primary virtues of the soul. So the first color is like violet, right? So violet corresponds to bliss. Then indigo corresponds to knowledge or the truth. Then O, O for orange.
No,
Boy,
violet,
I-
indigo,
O.
blue.
Yeah, B. So blue corresponds to peace, and then
G.
G corresponds to love. Y corresponds to joy or happiness. Yeah, yellow corresponds to joy or happiness, and then orange color corresponds to purity, and then red stands for
Strength or power.
strength or power.
Yeah.
So these are the 7 different, primary virtues of the soul that we can experience when we are connected to that light, God's light.
And also when you are a diamond,
Yeah,
when you make your consciousness as a diamond,
right. Because
you
we can connect to God only when we are connected to ourselves. So the first step is to connect with ourselves, with our true form, in our true form, that is the diamond form.
so let's take this a little deeper, right? You would like to take this a little deeper? Violet as bliss.
Mm-hmm.
So, see, bliss, what do you understand as bliss? How would you like to experience bliss?
Bliss would be an inner peace or an inner joy.
Yeah, a combination of all of this, right? That deep experience. There's actually a word in Hindi, right? Anand.
Mm-hmm. Anand. Just like Vivekanand.
Have you heard of Vivekanand?
Vivekanand,
He was a very big guru,
spiritual leader,
right? So if you look at most of the names that we have in India of these gurus, it ends with Anand, right? Yoganand, Paramanand, and Vivekanand.
Yeah. Even your father's name was Anand, right?
Yeah.
And then you sometimes,
Yes.
put Shwetank Anand, right?
Hey.
Gawal.
So, huh?
Yeah, that's his middle name, right?
Yeah. So if you look at Anand, it's bliss. Is that super sensuous pleasure, if you will, super sensuous happiness that you experience when you let go of your limited desires of the physical world. When you discipline your mind to not be pulled by the mundane things that exist in the world. We look at a candy, eat it. We look at a cake, eat it. We go shopping, find a nice dress, new pair of shoes, new gadgets, new car, new this, new relationships. What do? They pull us constantly. We go from one to the next, to the next, to the next. The more and more we try to experience happiness in this physical realm, the less we are able to experience bliss. So in order to experience that true quality of bliss, we have to find a way, or in other words, we have to create some mechanisms to not be pulled into these things again and again. Because if you eat a big piece of cake, how much does that happiness last?
10 minutes.
Maximum, right? And the bigger the piece of cake, actually bigger the problem. It creates more stomach ache. And then, of course, your blood sugar. More guilty. Thank you. Right? And then your blood sugars are up. Right? And your coronaries then start getting blocked. And the doctors get to benefit.
You have to do more workout, you gain weight.
Yeah.
You have to go to gym more often.
So the gym people earn out of you, the doctors earn out of you, the pharmaceutical companies earn out of you. Just by more and more of that. You buy a new dress, how long does that happiness last? 1 time, 2 times. Then it is another dress that stays in the closet. And eventually it becomes more of a problem because now your closet is small and you want to find a bigger closet, right? Problem never ends. So the more and more we try to disconnect ourselves from the physical pleasures, the more we can experience the quality of bliss.
People think that the more they get from this world, the physical things, the more happiness they will get.
Yeah. But
It is
everybody
the other way
agrees?
around.
Everybody agrees?
The more you
But
have,
still,
the less happiness you get.
correct. But still, my question is, why do we still keep running after it? Do we truly understand? Do we truly have come to this clarity for ourselves that the more we get into this worldly pleasures, the more and more, the less and less happiness we get? Yes or no? Yes? Then why do we still go to
Habit.
everybody
It's
agrees it's
forgetting who we are and where we're going. What is our destiny?
right. So now we are realizing that. So these sessions, the reason why we're doing it is because I personally, when I go out into the world, I see people with so much of pain, so much of distress. And it's not because of lack of food, lack of clothes, lack of a roof on the floor, on the head. It's not because of those things. Actually, people have way more here than anywhere in the whole world. And yet they are in distress. And I find that if I can do something to help them, and the only way to help yourself, if you want to help yourself, is to really understand that those worldly pleasures will not give you happiness that you can hold on to.
That is how we had started this, consciousness, actor consciousness, that we have to detach ourselves from
Correct.
all the worldly things. So super senses joy, when we are talking about super senses joy, it means we're going beyond experiencing, all the things of the physical world through our 5 senses. So super senses means going beyond these senses and experiencing transcending, yeah. It's a good word.
Yeah. Do you want to experience transcendence for a moment? Shall we try it? How many of you experience it on a regular basis? How many want to experience? Everybody wants to experience it. So it's so easy. Right now, feel yourself levitating from this physical body. There's energy within you. And you are that energy. You're not this body that you see in the mirror every day. You're not these hands and legs and face and eyes and kidney and liver and lungs and heart and bones and joints. You're not this. You're a soul. You're the life force. Now for a moment, just see yourself sitting, and as if you're watching from there, there's a video camera and it's focused on you, and you see yourself rising above this body. You, the life force, the energy, separate from this body. Take a moment. Take it seriously. I was wondering if you would like to go into that other room, inside room, if you would like to go. Neabin, would you like to go into that room?
Martinez.
Paul, see yourself transcending, rising above this body. Rising above, what happens, for example, if there are floods? You rise above, right? If there are any problems going on, when you are from above, watching from above, everything seems so small, so tiny, so inconsequential. Right? When somebody is surveying a place where everything is inundated with water, it's okay. You're not really in the water, right? You don't really feel that pain. No, you've transcended from this body, that you don't feel the pain of the body. You're transcending your mind too. So you're now not feeling the pain of the mind as well. You're transcending your emotions. So you don't feel the pain of your emotions either. You see, you're not your mind. Are you your mind? You say, my mind. You don't say, I mind. What is yours cannot be you. Your name is yours, so you're not your name. Your body is yours, so you're not your body. Make sense? I want to do this, that's what you say. Using my body, using my hand. Don't you see that? I want to drink water, using my hand. So you're not the sun. I want to move my body. I want to move my body. I want to move my body. So how can I be my body? What a beautiful realization right there. Who are you? You're a soul, an eternal soul that never dies, that just moves from one body to the other to the other. You move the body. As needed. You make it sit as needed. You make it lie down as needed. You make it go to sleep as needed. But you are not your body. Are you able to feel the difference between you and your body? Are you able to separate you from your body? Alright, I'll take you through another exercise. This will make it easy for you. For a moment, think that you're becoming smaller. There's this movie, right? Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Right? You've all seen it. So now, just a moment, magic has happened. And you're becoming tinier and tinier and tinier and tinier and tinier. And you see yourself right here, tiny. You're so tiny that you're tinier than your toenail. Right? Now see yourself Mm. There. And now you see that tiny you entering into your body through your toenail. And now you're walking up, you're climbing up inside, huh? Through the foot, the ankle, up the leg, inside, right? And this tiny you is seeing all these muscles and the bone, and then it's seeing the knee joint, and it's coming up. Okay. And then up, up the hip, up into the stomach, up, and the lungs, the heart. You see, it is looking at everything. The lungs, the heart, the kidney, intestines. It's looking up the neck, the head, the brain, from inside the eyes, the ears. See, you have shrunk yourself so tiny, and you are looking at your body from inside. Now feel as if you're coming out from the nose and flying out. You're so tiny, right? And you're here. Now you're looking at your own body from outside. That's the body. How does it feel? Is it helping you separate you from your body? Yes? It's nice, right? You are not your body. You are not your mind. You are not your emotions. You are not your ideas. You are not your habits. You are not your challenges. You are not your disabilities. You are not your creativity. You are not your values. You are not your qualities either. You are merely a soul. A soul that's just pure consciousness. That's it.
It's not visible. That's the main point.
Mhm.
You are what you can't see. What you see is not who you are. Is it easy to understand or difficult?
I have a hard time with that.
You have a hard time?
I just can't quite grasp it.
Mm.
It's coming to you. It's
I
hanging
mean,
there.
I understand it intellectually,
Correct.
but I can't get the feeling, I
Yeah.
guess is what I'm after.
Yeah.
Right.
It's coming. It's coming. It will happen. First thing is understanding it intellectually. That's the reason.
Just like in schools, you get to first understand what experiment you are going to do. So there is theory and then there is practical. So now you are understanding the theory.
And then you're doing a little bit of practical,
Practical,
and then
yeah.
one day it will
one
just
day,
come to you.
yeah, it will come to you. You will be able to feel what you are listening now.
That's the whole purpose of doing these sessions.
So that's
Taking
why
people
we
to
say, yeah, that's why we say that like we have to have a little bit of understanding before we sit for meditation. So it has to be knowledge based instead of just sitting and not doing anything. Meditation doesn't mean that you are stopping your thoughts, but meditation means you're activating your thoughts. So these are the thoughts that we have to activate. Who am I? I am not what I see with my physical eyes, but I am that which I don't see. I am that point, tiny little point, the pure consciousness, the diamond, the sparkling diamond. So first you have to understand You have to know who you are, and then you feel it. So first comes understanding, knowing, and then feeling it.
Standing, knowing, and feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the real realization suddenly one day happens.
And then you will yourself be amazed. Oh, I have been so ignorant. I didn't know. I didn't know even, who am I?
That's the whole purpose of doing these spiritual insight sessions every Saturday.
Yeah, and that's why it is said that knowledge is light. You get enlightened when you understand who you are. This is the knowledge that we are getting. Spiritual knowledge. Who am I? So you get enlightened. The more you think about it, the more enlightened you become. It's not just listening, but also about thinking, churning, that we use this word churning. Thinking more and more again and again, thinking about who you are.
So what happens most of the times, thank you for saying that, because as soon as we go from here,
Yeah, we forget everything, right? We are back
it's
to our old habits.
old
Right?
old thinking
Old
patterns.
patterns of thinking, yeah.
Right. Like this nice example is like that soda water that fizzes and then dies away. Then you come here next week, it fizz, then dies away. So my inspiration to all of you is to hold this for as long as you can. As you go from here, instead of calling people, doing work, just take a little bit of time, spend with yourself, and try to contemplate on these things that we have talked about.
And also, when you are doing actions at that time, remember that, maybe you can ask yourself, who is it? Who is it who is using the hands? The soul is actually making the hand move. Who is moving my hand? It is the soul who is making my hand move. It's not the body who is moving by itself. Just like car cannot move without the driver. Driver has to do something with the car. So this body is like a car, and I, the soul, I am like a driver who is moving this car, directing the car in the direction where I want to take it. So day-to-day activity, while performing actions, this is why we say that meditation is like, you are living. This meditation is like, we say that it's living meditation. Meditation should be such that it should be integrated in whatever you do in your life. It's not that you sit for an hour, half an hour, or hour, you relax, and then it's over. If you really want to bring about, changes in yourself, in your life, that transformation, then you have to incorporate it in your life, day-to-day activities.
Yeah. See, because what happens is, whatever your awareness is, your actions follow suit, sort of. So if, for example, you think yourself to be old, you will behave old, right? There are so many people who don't agree that they're old and that there was this granny, a 100-year-old granny, who said, I'm going to go uh, paratrooping, falling out of the sky and doing this. Or some 80, 90-year-old person saying that I'm going to do a new PhD or new course. Or the current chief of Brahma Kumaris is 103 years old and still travels across the world.
And she says, I am 103 years young.
Yeah. So when you think yourself to be young, you behave in a certain way. When you are in the awareness that you are old, you behave in a certain way. When you think yourself to be belonging to a certain community, then you behave like that community, right? If you think you are a Christian, you'll go to a Christian church. If you think yourself to be a Jew, you'll go to a synagogue. If you think yourself to be a Hindu, you will go to a temple, right? It spontaneously sort of begins to express out whatever your awareness is. So if I'm doing actions at that time, if I can create the awareness that, or the consciousness that I am a diamond, a beautiful, flawless, sparkling diamond. a diamond that is reflecting God's qualities. The God's light is splitting through me, by me, into these beautiful 7 colors, 7 qualities of peace, love, happiness, joy, bliss, power, and purity. And as you keep doing your actions, you keep reminding yourself, I am a diamond, I am a diamond. You'll begin to express those qualities. Your each action will become diamond-like. And then when anyone looks at you or looks at your action, because action then results in an outcome. What is this noise? Okay, it's okay.
You can hear that?
Yeah,
It's okay.
that's okay. Yeah. So
Your body has COPD.
yeah, that's perfectly fine. So you see, makes sense now. So if my actions are sloppy, right? What's the outcome going to be? If my actions are timely, good, the result is going to be good. If my actions are of the highest quality, because my awareness was of the highest quality, okay, got it? Because as is the awareness, as is the action. If my awareness is of a low quality, then the action is low quality. If my action is good quality, the result is, or the action, or if the awareness is good quality, the action is good quality. If my awareness is the most elevated awareness, if you can create for a little bit while you're doing that action, I am a diamond, a pure, flawless, sparkling diamond. And then the action would be very elevated too. And then the outcome would be perfect. Who doesn't want a perfect outcome?
And when you get good results, then you get more, like you get motivated. You want to do good actions. You want to pursue the same type of actions, right? So awareness is like seed and action is the fruit. Right? Or action is the seed and the result is the fruit.
Yeah?
Right?
So awareness can be the seed, the action is the
Action.
fruit.
Yeah.
Action can be the seed. Awareness. Oh, sorry. The result. Yes, thank you.
Fruit.
Could be the fruit. Makes sense? So shall we pause for a moment and see where everybody is? Are we all at the same page? These are very deep matters. This is deep understanding. And we just wanted to explore these things for all of us so that we don't remain here superficial. We go a little deep. Right? Why do we like to go deep in an ocean? Why do people like to go deep? You can surf also. You can just play with the waves too. But if you go deep, what happens? In an
When
ocean.
you're deep, you're usually searching.
Yeah.
Searching
what do you
for
And
find?
what do you find?
What do you find?
Pearls and
right?
jewels
and
and
pearls.
yes.
So this is also like going deep into the knowledge, the spiritual knowledge, and the deeper you go, the more jewels you can get from inside. And then, when you get jewels, how do you feel?
Wonderful.
Yeah, you feel happy. You're always happy. It's the secret of leading a happy life. Then you are always playing with the jewels. Now it's our choice. What do we want? We want to play with jewels, or we want to play with the stones,
The pebbles, the
Pebbles.
shells.
shells.
What do we find on the beaches?
Shells.
Shells. And what do we find deep in the ocean? Pebbles. So if you stay here superficial, yeah, a little bit, that's shells. And you go deep. That's when you get the real pulse. So for a moment we can take a break and just ask people. There are people online also who have joined from various parts of the country, and if they have something to ask, something to say, if you all have something to ask, something to say, then
Maybe why don't we take a break and go a little deep and experience?
we could in a
that
moment. Yeah, we could just for a moment. I was so that because I don't know what's happening. Are they with us or not? And then we can, because otherwise I don't want your meditation to be broken by questions. Yeah, anybody has anything to ask or say?
We are good, Shraddha.
No, good is good, but what good? How good? What is good? So,
Yeah, so far, whatever we
what have you understood? What has everybody understood? You don't have to answer. It's okay. You don't have to answer. I'm just trying to see, because sometimes when somebody chips in, somebody has something to ask or say that can reinforce the whole thing for everybody.
Yeah, so understanding or the purification part from charcoal to the diamond. So we all are going through that process, and yeah, that's we need to still work and get purified so we can become a pure diamond.
Okay, good.
That's
Good. What else? Anybody else?
Yeah, like keeping that awareness, like pure diamond consciousness in whatever the action we are doing. So if we have that consciousness, awareness, probably that action also becomes more divine, and that qualities, God's qualities can be reflected in that. So that is really very nice thing to know, and keeping that awareness constantly is a kind of a challenge. That's the nice thing.
Wonderful. All right. Anyone else?
And also that we are not our body, we are just a soul, and so we are pure soul. So that's what I understood
Who is
today,
this?
that we are not our body. And
Who
so
is this? Who are you?
this is Ranjita.
Okay. Yeah. Yes, we already know now, really, that we are souls, but to reinforce it again and again for ourselves, reminding ourselves to the extent that it becomes truly our experience. All right. Want to take us through a little bit of meditation?
So let's prepare ourselves to take the journey inwards, to explore and experience the true self. So let's visualize our mind in the form of a prism. And this prism has a special switch. And this switch is the switch of awareness. In the moment you become aware that I, the soul, am a sparkling diamond. The light is turned on, and the prism of your mind begins to shine. And you begin to see your true self reflecting 7 different divine virtues. The white light, as it enters through the prism, it gets dispersed into 7 colors. Similarly, this awareness that I, the soul, am a diamond. This diamond consciousness is a trigger to radiate all the 7 special qualities of the soul. So you look closely and then you begin to observe your beautiful self. The violet color, the color that represents your blissful form and reminds you that you are truly a blissful being. The indigo color is reminding you of this truth that you truly are a pure soul, and you begin to feel the pure energy that is being activated now at this moment. The blue color is reminding you of the inner peace that exists within. You are a being of peace. And the green color is connecting you to that love that you are. You are a loving being. And the yellow color of joy is making the soul dance in happiness. The orange color of purity is giving you a sense of confidence that yes, I am a pure and clean soul. And the red color is empowering the soul with this awareness that I am a powerful being. So with this powerful awareness that I, the soul, am a sparkling diamond, radiating all these 7 qualities, primary qualities. This awareness makes the soul very powerful and strong. And the more you become aware of your diamond form that you are, the more you can receive God's light, God's love, God's powers, and you begin to sparkle and actually overflow with divine qualities, and you become a server serving the world by radiating these divine qualities. So keep receiving from God and keep giving to everyone else. And the more you give, the more you get. Oh, Shanti.
So thank you, Kanishka, for the wonderful experience. You all had good experience? Mhm. All right, and so just like every time, we have a little sweet for you all. A tiny sweet that has been prepared with a lot of love and meditation. It should be coming in a moment.